Well, hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Deb and this is DB Designs and Sewing Australia. Welcome to my subscribers and welcome to anyone who's new. I hope you will subscribe to my channel for a bit of sewing and life. And I'll get right into it. This week I met up with some fellow YouTubers. So with two ladies that I have met on YouTube who also have their own channel. And this was Deb from Sewing Seams with Deb, and she's from Western Australia, so I'm over in Victoria, so the complete other side of the country, and she was over here visiting, and we caught up, and we also caught up with Katrina from Create Something Pretty, and we had a lovely day in the city in Melbourne. Once we met up, of course, under the clocks at Flinders Street, where everyone meets up, we went to Brunetti Aura for a coffee. Now, Brunetti Aura is in Flinders Lane. It's not the one over in Carlton. It's in Flinders Lane. And we had a lovely coffee there. And then we went off to Morris & Sons, which is a beautiful wool shop. My word, they have gorgeous wool there. Just the most magnificent skeins, and if you're ever looking for a variegated type of wool, beautiful, beautiful items. So after going there, we headed off to Sewciety Fabrics. So a bit of a trek up the hill, and Sewciety Fabrics just makes me freak out. The fabric is so magnificent there, so magnificent. And they also have, up the back, they've got a few of, well, probably not a few, probably one of each of their patterns, or more than one, made up. You can try them on. It's fabulous. So if you're thinking, what size coat will I make? They've got a 14 there. Try that on. Excuse me, I've still got fur in this room. It just floats around. I don't know when I'm going to get rid of it. Yes, so we went to Sewciety Fabrics. Katrina tried on a coat, which actually looked lovely on her and would be a really good make, Katrina. So you really need to look into that. I didn't buy any fabric because the fabric that I wanted to buy was a really hot magenta coloured 100% heavy silk, and I really would love to make a full pleated skirt and a blouse that you wear together so it looks like a dress, or you could wear them as separate items, but the fabric's $98 a metre, so I'd need 5 metres, so $500? I'm not sure, but I just loved going in there and rubbing myself all over the beautiful fabric. It was just beautiful. So after we had been to Sewciety, the other girls, I think, made a couple of purchases. And then we went down to the Hopetown Tea Rooms for lunch. Now, that's in the Block Arcade. And so if you've ever been to Melbourne, there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful arcades in Melbourne, and Block Arcade is one of them. And we were sitting out in the centre part. They did offer us a table inside, but it was really very warm inside, and it wasn't breezy or drafty in the arcade. It's quite sealed up from the weather. Not that the weather was too bad that day, but you know, when you're sitting down, you can get a bit cool. But it was absolutely lovely, just beautiful. And I think I bought a tea that was called Snow White, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So we had sandwiches and all that sort of thing. And by the time we talked at every place we'd been to, all we did was talk. And it's so lovely to talk with like-minded people who, you know, when you talk about sewing all the time, don't think, shut the hell up about sewing, which is, I'm sure, what some of my friends think, who try and guide a conversation in a different direction. Although some of my sisters sew, so they're not so much like that, but you know, there's 5 of us, so we all talk over the top of each other anyway. So that was my wonderful day catching up with 2 YouTube ladies. We had such a great time. It was just fabulous. So if you ever get the opportunity to do that, I would highly recommend it. It was just fabulous. So on to what I've made this week. Oh, sorry, on to what I've made for the last 2 weeks. So I actually completed the test of Mia's little fur jacket. I will insert a photo, but it ended up being far too big for her, probably 2 inches too long in the sleeves. Don't know what I was thinking. And although it fitted her in the body, Hannah wanted it shorter and more curved in the front. So I have since made the little white one, which looks much smaller even though it's the same width. Sleeves are much shorter and it's much rounder in the front, and it's got the proper little tie-up white ribbon that she wanted. I will insert a photo of that. I'm still waiting for Hannah to receive that. I have posted it to her, so she'll try that on Mia and send her a photo, and send me a photo of her when she tries it on her. So that was one of the first things I got done. So if you remember what this jacket was supposed to look like, because I'll insert a photo, but I'll take this out. This is the jacket that Hannah wanted me to replicate. So I think I actually got pretty close to what she wanted. To me, it's not really a jacket, it's a bolero, because it's quite short and comes up very rounded in the front. It's not like a buttons up, it just ties up with the ribbon. But that's what she wanted. So hopefully she's happy with that and it fits Mia. Okay. The next thing I did was I finished my, why doesn't this look hot pink? This is absolute hot pink, but it looks sort of, I don't know, washed out on my screen. Maybe it doesn't on your screen. No, it's not its real colour. This is my Stina skirt in the heavy linen. Now I have repressed this because actually I wore it when I went out with and met up with the girls the other day, and such a comfortable skirt, really comfortable, love wearing it. But when you've had it on for, probably had it on for 10 hours, I drove there, so sitting down in the car all the way home, took me more than an hour to get home. So it really does look like, as my mother would say, you've been under the bed. That's what she always said. So, but absolutely loving this skirt, very comfortable, and wore it with my Bridget blouse and my over-dyed denim coat. As you'll see from, well, you can see my over-dyed denim coat, I think, in the photos I'll insert of Deb, Katrina and myself when we were in the city. So that was one of the things I got finished. And the next thing I got finished was Neil's shirt. Now this is the Tada men's troop shirt. I love this pattern, and this is in a baby cord, so it's very, very soft, from Spotlight, and it's just got your typical type of shirt buttons on it. He hasn't tried it on yet, although I previously made him one, so I know it fits. But you know, trying to get him not only to try something on, but to also take a photo of him. It's like trying to pin down a kangaroo, really. But very, very happy with how this shirt came out. This fabric, I think I said it was from Spotlight, this baby cord, a dream to sew with. An absolute dream. It's just beautiful. And I put a label in it. made with love and wine. So very appropriate when you're married to a wine drinker. So it's got a little box pleat in the back. It's got button plackets, your cuff plackets. And not only was this fabric great to work with, the buttonholes really came up really, really well. So very, very pleased with this shirt. I think that's my best one to date. Now, I didn't put the tabs on the shoulders, which I put on the other ones that he likes. And I didn't put the flap on the pocket. Because this is a winter shirt, he'll probably be wearing it under a jumper anyway. So I just thought those things would add more bulk to the shirt. And so very, very happy with this. This has turned out really, really well. I would certainly make that again in a baby cord, because I think it's really comfortable and really soft. And as I said, I do believe that the pattern did not have interfacing in the front, but because it was such a soft fabric, I just made a strip of interfacing and ironed that into both fronts, because it's going to have buttons and buttonholes, and I know that he won't undo it to take it off. He'll just pull it up over his head, which means that some of the buttons will get more stress on them than they may normally do if you actually undid your clothes and didn't just take them off over your head, Neil. And the last thing I made was the Helmi Blouse. I will be inserting photos of all of these as I go, except for Neil's shirt, because I've got no photos of that. Just take one on the hanger, I suppose. So this is the Helmi Blouse by Forget Me Not Patterns. And this is in this gorgeous Wild at Heart print. Now, we'll insert photos, but I am loving this shirt. It's really, really nice. And this fabric is very, very soft. It's beautiful. This has got lovely sleeves. Comes together quite quickly. It does have a little button there. And I just chose a button out of my stash because I did realize that it was going to be hidden by the collar. Really nice collar. Really nice construction. I'll turn that inside out so you can see it. I haven't even made a label for it. Very clean finish, so your collar's just in there like that. And this is your front with the split. And it's just sort of got a bit of a facing. Now that facing doesn't move when you've got it on. I'm sure it's because it's held down. And of course you can top stitch all of this collar down. I actually hand sewed it and then I top stitched it as well. Well, not really top stitched it, just stitched it down as well. So that's a good thing about working with collars, is that you can do any sort of stitching underneath the collar and it can't be seen. But very happy with the construction of this pattern, because there's no facing, because it doesn't need to be a facing. Does not need to be a facing in the back here. So very, very happy with this blouse. I took a fair bit off the side seams. Now I cut size 40 according to my measurements, but when I tried it on, I should have tried it on before I put the sleeves in. Must be after I had the collar on, but before I put the sleeves in, I tried it on and decided it really was a bit wide. Now I could have taken more in on those fisheye darts at the back, because it does have fisheye darts in the back, wherever they've gone to. Yep, so So as you can see, it does have fisheye darts in the back. So I could have, I guess, taken those in further. But it just seemed to have a lot of excess fabric. And so because I took the side seams in, I also took some width off the under part of the sleeve, just so that it would all come together nicely. This is not a gathered sleeve, it's just eased in. So this is just the sleeve head just eased in to the arm side. So very nice blouse, beautiful fabric, very comfortable fabric. But then again, I do like a twill. And it does remind me of the blouses that my mother made us when we were kids. Blouses with Peter Pan collars, wearing it over a tartan skirt and the tartan skirts had bodices made out of like cotton lawn and a hand knitted jumper or cardigan. It's what we wore to kinder, just about a uniform, I think. So that's what I've been making this week. And the other thing I have got on the go at the moment is the Ilford jacket. Now I'm making that for Neil. I'm not making it as short as that one. You can see from the pictures down the bottom, the line drawings down the bottom, that it's got a very cropped version and a very long version. So I'm going halfway in between that. Now I'm making it in this brown. Actually, it's more tobacco colour, really. That's the colour I'd call it. It's not chocolate brown. It's really tobacco. And this is called micro cord. Now, I can't tell even which way the nap goes. I think I said that when I bought it. I bought it from Super Cheap and I bought it online. It's really quite thick and heavy, so it'll make a great shacket. Much heavier than the baby cord, which is soft to wear as a shirt, but this is to wear over the top of something like that shirt. And yes, it's a micro cord, which doesn't seem to have very much of a nap at all. When I'm looking at it, I can see that it's got very, very minuscule lines in it, but I cannot tell which way the nap goes. So I'm just cutting it all out in one direction so that if it does happen to have a nap, I can't see that it changes colour or anything like that. But if it did, it would all be cut in the same direction. So I am in the middle of cutting that out, and I have already cut out my Bridget dress. And I'm telling you, because a Bridget dress, the sleeve is all in one, so you've got something that goes from here to here. And remember, it was the one where the front comes down like that, and then the facing bit is joined to the front, so it actually makes it about that wide to your arm. And so technically you have to cut them out as single pieces. Well, I actually managed to manipulate the fabric when I realized the fabric was actually not directional at all. I thought it was directional, but it's not directional. But because it's got very big flower heads on it, I think it might be called winter flower. They're not getting the whole flower boobs thing when you've got to really work out how you're going to lay this on your fabric. It was a monumental task, and my table is really not big enough. In hindsight, when I make the Bridget dress again, and I'm sure I will clear off my kitchen bench, which has got to be at least twice as big as a dining room table, and it has no kitchen sink in it. So my island bench. It's a massive bench. Of course, you can't cut out with a rotary cutter on it because I'd have to keep on sliding the mat under it, and it is all granite bench top. So I think I would think about doing that next time, because I'd like to be able to lay it out and see it all at once. I'm much more hesitant to cut things out, to cut out a piece at a time and then lay the next piece on. That's scary to me. What if I'm not cut it out correctly, and what if I don't have enough fabric? Well, I actually had heaps of fabric, but that is always a concern I've got. I'm actually left with some weird little pieces of fabric because it's cut out on there. You've got like space there, but nothing else fitted up that side. So I'll have to see what I can do and what I can make up with the rest of that fabric. Anyway, please like and subscribe. I will insert photos everywhere, and everybody have a really good sewing week. Hopefully I finish the Ilford jacket. Hopefully I finish my new Bridget dress, but my sister's coming shortly to pick me up for a sister's weekend at one of my other sister's farm, so I won't be doing any sewing this weekend. And then a bride's coming over for me to make her wedding dress 2 sizes smaller and take the train part off it, or make the train shorter or something. Anyway, that's my week. Everybody have a fantastic week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.